to the Indie Wrestling Guy with your hosts, the Hall of Fame referee, Jay Hawk, the not-so-mysterious benefactor, Jay Gold, and the legendary Charlie Butters.
We're back.
It's ETU week.
It's ETU week for you. It's a busy weekend for me as well. I have Neo Pro on Saturday, OCW on Sunday, and then I'm not doing anything. I'm off on Memorial Day, so
it's supposed to be cold this weekend, so I'm not even going to be able to get to the beach. So I'll go to ETU like I'm trying to get there like flat out after just a day of doing nothing on Saturday because I thought originally
that cold because OCW is outside on
it's supposed to be 60
Sunday.
Here. Oh, Monday's supposed to be fine. Here, Saturday and Sunday, it's supposed to be 60 degrees and raining. So it sucks.
As of right now, 60% chance of rain.
Yep.
And 68 degrees.
I mean, that's fine for wrestling.
That depends on, that also isn't including that location because it's in like Akron. So.
Well,
we'll see.
Yeah, it's gonna be crummy here, so it'll be good to sit inside the Mecca and watch some ETU on Saturday. And speaking of the weekend, last weekend, Butters, we got murdered in flag football on Sunday. Murdered. It was 27-0. All the girls on the other team were travel players. Where's the fairness in that? How our girls by the time we looked up the first play of the game, they scored a touchdown. They ran an 80-yard reverse. Wait. Girl flag guarded the whole way down the field. I'm running up the field in the referee's face going, she flag guarded again, the entire way down the field. The ref goes, I don't want to talk about it. She's running in her own format like this. I go, you could run like this all you want, but if your hand's swiping down at the flags, all my girls came over to me. They go, this girl slapped me in the face. The same girl knocked my daughter over, like knocking flags out. And then the very next drive we ran, they had the nerve to call flag guarding on my girl, who was the shortest girl on the field. There was no way she could have flag guarded. They just couldn't grab her flag. She's so small. I have the smallest team. They're fast, but they are small. None of them have any football sense except for two of them. We gave up 2 pick sixes. And then at the end of the game, I got in this huge argument with the coaches of the other team because it's 27-0, a minute to go. My girls are ready to leave. They're like, can we please just go home? I go to the coaches, guys, let's wrap it up. They go, you know what? We're just going to let our girls who didn't touch the ball get a few plays. I go, fine. Very first play, they have their quarterback sneak 80 yards, who already scored 2 scores. I was fucking furious. Okay? So that was absurd, and that's how that game ended. I right after that play, and we pulled the flag before she scored, I go, that's it. We're walking. I said to the ref, I go, wrap it up. He goes, you want to end the game? I go, end it. End it right now. I go, wrap it up. That's it. That is so disrespectful. And if this was an older adults, like an older kids league, I would have thrown something at the guy on the other side. But because they're 10-year-old girls, I didn't want to get into a fight. Ridiculous.
That's why you got to have your brother waiting out in the parking lot with a baseball bat.
Listen, I had plenty. There's 3 of us as far as coaches go. Like, we all had an opportunity. And one of the other head coach, he's too timid when it comes to getting upset. I'm like, dude, you got to get fired up. There's some bullshit out here. This is some bullshit. So that's that. But yeah, so we don't have a game this weekend because of Memorial Day weekend. So thankfully we're off, and we're going to miss the next game because I'm taking Harper to her sleepaway camp in Pennsylvania for the day because they have like an open house, and my niece is a CIT. So she's going to go hang out there. Thankfully, I won't be at the game. We'll probably win that game. Knowing me not being there, we'll probably win. The parents will be like, that Josh sucked as a head coach. I just know it.
We could just play. They won't let you have practices. There's nothing else further to be said.
And so here's how. And then some parents are chirping about how the girls, they don't warm up and stuff. And I'm like, first of all, you're never on time. None of the girls are here all at the same time. And we don't have practice. We sent an email out on Sunday night, and we're like, listen, the next week we want to do nighttime practice, like 6:30. Nobody responded. Nobody like, yeah, you know what? That sounds like a great idea. We'd love to get our kids some extra reps. Nothing. What are we doing? You want reps? Go play travel then. Fine. I'm just trying to get all the girls. It's a really hard balance to get everybody a play because they all want to play, right? They all want the ball, and try to bounce out with running plays for just our best players. You know what I mean? Like the girls who are our best players are animals, and they should be getting the ball. I just can't do that to the other girls. It's not right. You know, it's definitely these are some of these girls. It's not right. They need an opportunity to get a play in and feel good about themselves and things like that. So whatever. But when this drops, by the way, on Thursday today, when this drops, it's my 15-year anniversary. So I'm gonna be with my lady for dinner, and then I'm going to see Mandalorian and Grogu
Mm.
because why not?
I went to the AIW show on Friday.
Yeah, how was the vibe? It looked crazy there.
Same old, same old. I mean, I was up in the balcony with Pam and Stacy, and Summers was up there, and Jesse was there as well. So
Nice.
we had a nice little group up there, and I really enjoyed the impromptu tag match. I don't understand why they didn't strap up Shimbashi and Danny Orion. Like, it makes this is two matches now that they actually had like a really good match, and the crowd was just begging for new champions, and they didn't give it to us. And I'm sure they're waiting until Absolution in July, but it's just like, guys, come on, like.
Yeah.
They're a legit tag team. They had the crowd fucking eating out of the palm of their hand. Like, that, it should have been Shimbashi and Danny Orion to win it.
No doubt.
Some fresh blood there. That would have been nice.
I thought that match was great too. I know you were really high on it as soon as it.
And Broner and Alonzo Cruz was really, really good too.
Hell, and Broner looks like he's shredding himself up a bit. He looks great. Love it.
I bought a GoPro so we can start doing vlog footage of show days.
Flog footage. I don't think we need that, Butters.
Vlog footage. Oh boy.
I'm excited for that. I think that'll be that would make some very cool video wires. So,
well, it's gonna be Patreon exclusive content. It's gonna be locked behind there. Like, if you wanna see it, you gotta sub.
yeah.
But new cards coming out this Friday. I should have them at Neo Pro this weekend. Also, new T-shirt, new hoodie,
it's great.
New hats. The hats I don't like on the Brainbuster store, so I ordered some to have in person. Hopefully, they arrive before this weekend so that I can sell them this weekend. If not, I will have them next month at all the shows. So.
It is the design, the brightness, the fresh look is so. I love the purple and green colorways that we've turned into.
Yeah, that's become our colors thanks to
OKCR, right?
Yeah, OKCR. He kind of gave us that logo, and then like that color popped so well. I was like, because that's what I wanted color wise. I think that just worked.
Yeah.
And so then he came up with that logo, and it's like those colors have just been synonymous with everything. They go on the cards, they're on our banner, everything else. And I was like, so I told Alec when he was asking like what we wanted to do, I was like, you did some great shirts with Prestige, and with those, I was like, you did like 5 or 6 different shirts. I was like, they all featured a skull. They didn't look like wrestling shirts. I was like, that's what I want our shirt to look like. So I was like, the IW Guide is not like, a cool name for a podcast. So I was like, so let's like come up with something that just like cool like shirt design, and he fucking delivered. So.
It's very cool. The colors, everything just works, and I like it very much. And I can't wait to buy it and wear it all over the place. So this weekend I'll be ordering my stuff, and I'll be spying. I love how fast Brainbusters get stuff out. I'll have it in like 5 days. So
yeah. So
like
the links in our link tree. Also put a link in probably our of the description of the show and stuff like that, so you can find it and purchase it if you are interested. So
yeah, everybody go on and look for it, and buy some shirts and wear them to the shows. God damn it.
And like follow and subscribe to us on everything. YouTube, we're like 19 people away from hitting 100 subs. So go subscribe on YouTube.
By the way, I plan on wearing the shirt to Slow Burn Shoot when I go in June. So, nice. And I'm going to get Harper one too. So I think we'll square away when we get there. So that'll be cool. Yeah.
Oh, you have a goal on Saturday as well. I need you to get with Nomi and get her set up for a trading card.
Okay.
I got some feelers out for. I talked to Mance Warner. He has like 11 trading cards right now, so there's
Right.
really he has no need.
Yeah.
But we did talk about it. I'm working on some stuff to see about doing a card with Nick Gage. So
How is he doing? How did he? What was your opinion live of him in the ring? By the way, because I think he's my age, isn't he?
he moved well. He faced Austin. He did fine. Like he looked good.
Yeah.
He said he's not even back for a one-off. He's back for, he's back in the company and wants to win some fucking gold. So
Nice.
and then Broner and him squared off, and then and oh boy, it just and then Kaplan came out. Now it's like the three of them are gonna face
I feel like
off.
Kaplan's like the new is back. Now that he's back, he's going to cause so much havoc, and I'm here for it. I'm here for all Kaplan havoc.
Kaplan took so many shots to the head, man. I was
Again.
really worried for him again. Like I was very concerned.
Yes, you're not wrong. Sometimes I worry about him.
Should we do some shout outs?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So shout out to Zach, Bagelmonger, Paul, and of course, Patty.
Hey, Patty, how are you? Patty,
So-
I can't wait to see Slow Burn Shoot. I'm not. It's like less than a month away, and I'm gonna be. I cannot wait to see it and talk to you
Chomping at
about
the
it when
bit.
it's over. Yeah.
Also, I got all the autographs for the Patreon subs. So
cool.
their series 4 and 5 cards can go out to them now.
Cool.
And just in time, I'll be starting series 6, trying to get everybody has autographs on that, like herding fucking cats. So it should be fun.
Yeah. Yeah. No, just like trying to book wrestlers to do interviews. Really difficult.
So there will be no Zach's match game this week. I forgot to send you the topic, the match, so that we could like kind of prep for it. And I feel like it would take too much time to try to do it if we just did it right now. So
Yeah.
next week, we'll be recording on Memorial Day evening. We'll have time to kind of flesh it out, and we're going to be talking Neo Pro Wrestling's 4th anniversary show. So we'll have time to actually get deep into it. So
Cool.
What's on this weekend?
So let's go. It is ETU week. So on the Independent Wrestling Television Network, it is ETU Wrestling presents Dead Set live Saturday, May 23rd from the Mecca of Pro Wrestling in Ridgefield Park, New Jersey, 7 p.m. Victor Iniestra versus Ryan O'Neal versus Mateo Marcelos versus Julies. Shimbashi and Devious Cass versus Isaiah Broner and a mystery partner. That's going to be freaking awesome. Ava Lawless versus Janai Kai versus Lily La Pescadita. She is back. Ken Broadway versus Myron Reed. And for the Coastal Crown Championship, Gabby Forza versus Killer Kelly. The Killionaires Club versus our guests tonight above the rest in a tag team championship match. And in the Key to the East Championship, Mike Santana versus Hot Sauce Tracy Williams. Are you kidding me? If you don't watch the show, you're out of your mind. And if you live in the area, if you don't even ask me and go, we should go together, you're out of your mind, because it's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome.
I got from IWTV New Texas Pro Bat City 2 Sunday, May 24th at 2 p.m. Eastern for the New Texas Pro Heavyweight Championship. Danny Orion, who is the champion, versus Kenny King.
Oh, Kenny King.
Yeah, Lone Star Championship. Jesse Funaki defending against Eric Stevens. Dmitry Alexandrov versus Anakin Murphy. Izzy James versus Vert Vixen versus Shimbashi. Rachel Rose and Calientita versus Charity King and Devin Carter. Travis Cuddy, LVJ, and Prince, I cannot pronounce that, Haruki versus Jay Pierce, Chris Marcel, and Exodus Prime. So that should be a good Sunday afternoon show. Just throw that on in the background while you're puttering around the house. Support our friends Danny Orion, Eric Stevens, and Shimbashi.
I forgot Eric Stevens is back again.
He moved to Texas, so
That's pretty great.
yeah.
Doing interviewing.
All right, this week we have a former MLW Tag Team Champion and future ETU Atlantic Tag Team Champion. He's wrestled all over from MLW to DPW to CMLL to ETU. He's an OG member of the Contra unit and founding member of the Expected. He is the Concrete Jarrigan. Please welcome Ikuro Kwon.
Hey.
Hey, there he is.
Fire intro. Thank you.
I worked on it all day.
I was going to do one, but he worked on it. Yeah, I was going to try, but then when he presented that, I'm like, oh, that's much better. We just want to make sure we're showing you the proper respect level there. So I say to Butters and our other co-host Jayhawk, who's not here, he's having computer issues, but I love when guys from Long Island are on because I'm on Long Island. I love at least, interacting with guys from the East Coast because our podcast, when I join them, these guys are in Ohio. We do a lot of AIW. We do a lot of Neo Pro. So when I get guys that are closer to home that I enjoy, I get very amped up. I'm like, thank God I have somebody I can talk to about, the East Coast wrestling scene.
No, for sure. Like some people from Long Island, but if you really look into it, there's a lot of talent right now from Long Island.
And you were out at Remarkable and Kona, and that was your start, correct? Like you're a guy from out here.
Yeah. I started training in Limbrook. The school used to be in Limbrook.
Yeah.
And I was the only student.
Oh,
so I was the only student for a while, for a few months. So it was really cool. Like that was a different experience because it was just me and my trainer. So like that, just like walking, like felt like a disciple, right? Because you're just walking every day. You go from like, strangers to like, teacher student relationship to like very much I can text you at 4 a.m. if I have an idea because it's just us. So like things got moved really quickly. So like your normal like 3-hour practice turned to a 7-hour practice because it was just, because then I feel like I kind of sparked his interest again too in being a teacher and then tapping into the scene, with a different, with a different perspective, and then that's when like things started to kind of get put into. It's
funny you bring that up, that they didn't charge you for more hours as you were working later and later in the night.
I think it's one of those like, and also like it was split with an MMA gym, so like, we trained during like MMA classes, so that environment alone made you like take it seriously. But I think him him noticing how serious I took it was like, like this is worth the hours because this kid might do something, and it's this is why I signed up to train, was to get a kid like this, and now it just happens to be the first and only one for a while. So,
yeah. So let me ask you. So I grew up in Long Island, on Long Island in Great Neck. But I was in Queens. I did, and I'm much older than most of the guys, and everybody likes to remind me. But I was in ECW, House of Hardcore in the '90s. Like we all did a little bit of something, dipped our toes in it. But Long Island, from my memory, was never a hotbed in the late '90s, early 2000s of wrestling and wrestling schools. And as much talent as we probably would have wanted. What do you think? What's different now? Because ETU is, with Struggs out there and Andrew and Jack and all these guys who come from Long Island, I feel like I didn't have any idea until within the last maybe 10, 15 years that Long Island was starting to put out, Statlander, MJF, all these guys. When did this turn around to where Long Island is really is what it is now?
It probably started with Cardona, probably, because he was the first person actually talking about it. I know I was in middle school, but like it was still just like a thing where he was talking about it, and he was wearing like Mets colors, and then you start to learn more, and then like I'm trying to think what 2016, 2017 with like Tony Nese, right? Just like people started to be known like, oh, Long Island's happening. And then obviously MJF started to get really popular. But like you said, Chris Statlander, like who else? Willow, Bear Bronson.
Yeah.
There's so many people that don't realize, like Chris Weidman from the UFC, he was my babysitter.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, we went to the same church and stuff. Our dads are friends. Like, yeah, it's like a small world where like I feel just the consistency of just having him talk about it all the time. Like most people, if you see it from Long Island, you see it from New York. So you never specify, the island. And the island is kind of divided anyway. Like I said, like Great Neck, like I don't have any friends in Great Neck. I'm more like, I'm in like Nassau and Queens. So very, very different. But him having pride makes it good. And then, like, at the same time, there was a couple of rappers that were coming up from Long Island. This guy, Reek the Villain from Roosevelt, like Busta Rhymes. And, there's a lot of people who are not embarrassed about it, because when you think Long Island, you think Hamptons, or you think, certain, like, Montauk, right? And there's so many different layers to it. And wrestling was a big part, but it was more so the travel that you had to do, because it was like, because there's still not that many schools at all. So it's just now it's just, I think it's kind of just lucky that a lot of the products from the place are now making it reputable. So now more eyes are going to the spot, and more people who live there who are fans, because it's it's a metropolitan area. Like, there's just so much more foot traffic and so much more like I guess the culture is just so much more around now that it's more connected, and more people are wanting to look at the schools, and more people are tuning into these things. So,
but the regulation is killing us anyway. I mean, no matter what, the regulation in New York is killing us, and it's preventing us from getting more eyes. Like, I remember taking a ride from Queens, from Great Neck on the border, Little Neck, and driving to Deer Park to see an Evolve show. And then I never saw another one in that space again, because they just didn't run, because it was too expensive. Like, it just kills us.
No, that's the thing. Like, and God bless them too, because when we do, like, sometimes they'll do shows. This is remarkable, like, way out east, and you'll Brooklyn from the Bronx, and be like, that's like that's a 4-hour commute, like, in total, depending on how your day goes. Especially when we did shows in, like, December, like that, there's a lot they're banking on. So luckily they're moving more into the Queens area, because, again, I think there's just more foot traffic, cheaper facilities, and even down to, like, just parking and just location. Like, it's really hard to get people to take that drive, like Sunrise Highway, and it's just people just don't want to, like you said, like, you went to an Evolve show, and not even if they did run there, it's just now you're thinking about that commute, and you're like, I'm not trying to do that.
No, it took me 3 hours from the border. Yeah.
Love out of it a little bit.
And you're in Florida now, right?
Yeah, now I'm in Florida, so I can't complain too much.
But you come up for the ETU shows. Do you work any other shows as far as the indies up here, or is ETU kind of like your home brand, and that's where you're going besides MLW?
Well, like, remarkable.
Yeah.
But yeah, ETU, BST over in Connecticut, and hopefully there's more on the way. It's really been mostly, but MLW and CMLL have been the focus, and, like, it's halfway by choice, halfway circumstantial, because I feel like I came up into MLW really early. Like, it was like my first year, so I'm learning things on the fly. It just happens to be on a lot of cameras now, and I feel like certain platforms, people get certain stigma about price or value or intrigue, ticket sales, things like that. So in one place, it's like, yeah, it's cool in a spot that counts, contra unit, but it's also we don't know who you are still, versus getting called up while building that reputation. I had to work kind of backwards, where it was like I was given a spot, no one knew why I was in the spot, and I had to earn all of it in between. But I'm a year, 2-3 years in, they're watching me learn live. So I think there's in one way, like the Beyond crowd over in Massachusetts, and the Limitless crowd, they enjoy the fact that they can't do it, and I think that brings a different energy to the crowd, which makes you try harder, makes you learn faster, but it makes you learn in a way where you can fall in your face, and they're going to pick you up, and that's a cool environment to learn. And they're also going to let you know when you fucked up. But it's just I think that's a comfortable balance that we got to learn. Me and my partner Gabe's got for like early in our career, that, and like doing CZW shows, which in front of like 9 people.
Yeah. Well, we had Gabe on. Yeah, he told us about that start. Have you ever done the Shadow Wrestling Alliance over at the Mecca, by the way? just want to ask, because I was there with 7 people as well. Speaking of 7 people shows 2 years ago, and that was something I've never seen before in my life.
had the pleasure. I haven't had.
They had Ninja Mac, in case you were wondering. I don't know. So, okay.
Josh,
So
the most exciting thing out of that show was Josh said that there was a guy that had a
real Lucha Underground belt.
belt, and he was so excited to see that belt.
He was sitting next to me, and I was like, I just want to touch that belt the whole time and just look at it. And that was like the only thing I took out of that show was this dude in his real Lucha Underground belt. So, maybe that's not for you. Maybe the 9 and 7 fans are out of your mirror at this point. So,
I hope so. The thing too, right? Like enjoying all of it, because it doesn't. It's not as. I don't think it's as serious as like, the asses you kiss on the way down, right? Or attached to the same hands, whatever it is.
Right.
But I don't ever want to feel that again, and I think that's something, because I learned the indies a little backwards too. I only kind of knew WWE and like whatever was in Blockbuster. So it was like, it was like Starcade and then all I knew. So the idea of like your first show and then seeing like basketball hoops, I'm like, wait, what is this? Because I wouldn't stop for it when I was a kid. I remember seeing like wrestling in like a parking lot. I was like, what is this shit? Right? It could have been, it could have been Gresham and Zack Sabre Jr. I didn't know at the time. I was probably like 11, but that stigma always stuck with me. So like when I do get to walk down in Arena Mexico, it's like, oh yeah, this is the level, but this is also not a guarantee. It's earned every single time, and that helps with the confidence, because the confidence with this, let alone just growing up. You're a punching bag all the time. So they were trying to balance that and trying to find your worth when you're in the ring with like people who either you grew up watching or do things that you can't even dream of. And you're wondering why you're across from them. And then afterwards, they're shaking your hand in a Pearson's. They're opening the door for you to go first. They're buying you a beer. And it's like, oh shit, like, is this? And then you got to remember, like, no, it's not just being nice. There's too much money on the line to be nice. There's too much reputation on the line to be nice. Yeah, it gets you in the door, but the door's been open for a little bit. So you got to be doing something right, even if it's just like fitting in a role, which was Contra was in the first place. They just needed an Asian dude. I was the first person they saw, and there's not a lot out there, or at least in America, that's a cheaper flight than flying someone from Tokyo, and they can send me the scripts in English.
Well,
that's a thing too. So it's an idea where like, okay, that got me in the door there. Now how do I stay in the door? In the first workout, that's why. Least, because I was just yes sir, yes sir, no sir. I hid behind Jacob a little, you know what I mean? That's what it was. And then even from the jump, they said trying to find my name, because on the indies I was Tristan Ty, and they were like we like Tristan. It's just kind of like it's a little too like American, you know what I mean? We kind of need to change your name a little bit for the country. And I was like, the other guys in the group are Joseph, Simon, and Jake. Right in my head, but I'm not saying shit. I'm just like, yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's crazy. So then landed on the name, and only I would say this year it feels good. I didn't really feel like I was in that skin yet until like this year, and even now it's still, again, it's even though I know that I fit the skin, it's still like that new jacket feel where it's like, oh, it's a new jacket. I'm still not used to it though. So I think that. Every person gets to develop, so it's cool, because you never know like when the light bulbs are going to go off. You just have to just catch them when they're there. But then luckily, with the balance of trying to get booked more places, the benefit of sometimes having a lot of more space in between is that every locker room I'm in is top shelf. So I'm always learning something. I'm always coming away from learning something, whether it's just, whether, in ring, out of the ring, whether it's like, family stuff, whether it's like investing, whether it's, just keeping your composure, making sure like how to turn it off when you're home, like things like real life stuff, and other locker rooms are cool. But I mean, like, you'll go to one locker room and you'll just see people like talk about like where they're going to eat, or where they're going to, or how they're going to get high, which again, each his own. Yeah. But these people are talking about millions and manifesting. Yeah, this is what it is. But if I don't hear that first, I'm not going to know that that's wrong. And that's why, like, my job at where I'm trying to do is every time I learn something, I gotta call Gabe right away. Because then because that knowledge is nothing if I don't pass it along immediately, because that's crazy enough that they're even telling me. So that's the benefit that I see to all that, is like, you can't pick the path, but you better make sure when those stop signs are there, like stop for them, and I think that's the balance.
So let me ask you a question.
Hold on. Do you think Gabe keeps 2 rolls of toilet paper in his bag now? Did you pass that on to him?
You know who I heard that from?
Claudio, right?
Yeah, he told me that. So I told Gabe, I said, "Yo, you should keep toilet paper." He said, "Well," I was like, "I don't know. Claudio does it, and who am I to tell him that he wrestled? He did Cardiff the day before, flew for the Grand Prix, and then the next night we see him for All In Wembley with the trophy. We're like, you spent more time in the air than on the ground that week, and you looked. It was just like that was something. Like that was a lesson too. Like usually, like that, they're always humbling, but it's kind of like also motivating. Like, no, that's it. Like,
what's that experience like in Arena Mexico? Like,
yes,
you're our first guest that's ever wrestled in Arena Mexico. So, like, what is that like?
It's crazy because one, it's like, wow, they put these stairs with no rails here. That's like the first thing I think about when I'm because you can tell the dudes who are in it, they'll sing, they'll put their head up when they're walking down. Anyone there for the first time, I'm just like seeing Galen when like Danielson came down, he was just kept looking down because but no, it's wild because it's there's because it's so many firsts at once. It's a whole different environment. It's a whole different presentation for you. It's a whole different response because it's people who know. There's people who do the research, and there's people who are seeing it for the first time. There's people who like wrestling. There's people who live and die by wrestling, and there's people who flew to Mexico City for the weekend. Like it's just, and then you have the media part of it, which is like you're getting thrown to the wolves, and you have to, you have to eat. Because everyone in there's a dog, whether you knew them, whether you know of them, whether they're just getting, more known here, like all of them, the way that they drill, the way that they practice, it's insane. Not only to mention that you're already in a different mental state because Mexico City is like 7,000 feet above sea level. So you can't breathe the same way. So now you can't breathe. You're entering this like a stadium, which is like a run. It used to be a circus, so it's fucking haunted. And then it's just like, and it's just cold. It's you don't know where anything is in new language, but you can feel the respect of like you matter in a different way. Not like you're superhuman, but like you're doing something that matters. It's not just playing dress up and fighting. It's like you're part of a getaway. You're part of a culture. You're there because they made their plan to go there, which is every show, but it's a different feeling. Like I used to, my thing on the indies is like, man, why do people pay money just to sit down? I used to say like before shows, every fan should go on like a cleanse because everyone's on gas station hot dog diets and no one's got energy by the semi-main event, where in Mexico, it's football in Texas. It's
that's great.
A different thing. Yeah. And then again, the talent, the way the guys do it, and then the lifestyle after, where you just see them, like you see these people larger than life, you see their lifestyle, their grind 5 nights a week. And it's the coolest way to make a living when you see how much they love it. And then the lineage of it, when you walk in, oh, that's my grandpa, oh, that's my uncle, oh yeah, he used to do this, or oh yeah, he was the longest reigning. Like I don't have that. You know what I mean? Love my dad, but he wasn't.
Did you ever work under a mask, or do you think that that's like insane for how much they wear those masks forever? Like they never come off until they get home at night. I mean, I feel like that's got to be difficult.
That's what's crazy because like of what those masks mean.
Mm-hmm.
When they gave me the Lucha Hunter thing, I was like, this doesn't even feel right because I'm taking first night they told me I took Mystico's mask. Like he's an untouchable person. And then they let me do that. He lets me do that. That was crazy. And then the funny thing about it is like these fans who idolize, like you go to like, it's like that. What people used to tell me what it was like when you go to like 7-Eleven and it was just or a store that didn't even like a TJ Maxx, but there's Hulk Hogan merch there. Like it was beyond that. It was like the Beatles, Michael Jackson, Hulk Hogan. Like no matter what, it was a different brand. That's Mystico down there, Mario down there. That's that's who they are down there. So funniest part is after the show, they just take their mask off. They don't know, the fans don't know if they're security. They don't know if they're, but meanwhile, they're their biggest fans and they don't even know. I think that's like the coolest thing about it. Because they can turn it off. They have a physical switch to turn it off with. And, it's cool. It's cool to watch that because they're not into themselves the way that, you think that they could be, you know?
Well, there's a humbling to you wearing a mask and being a megastar, and then almost taking that off, as opposed to here, where even if you're on TV every week, you can't ever turn off or be away from what the fans will see you at a restaurant or at a gas station. There, they don't have to be. There's a way. I think we suffer from that just because of so much internet and so much access to you guys. Is that they don't have to, once the mask is off, they no longer have to be that guy. And I think the problem here is, since there's so much access and so much internet, is that you always have to be that guy, no matter where you're walking, no matter what, we see you, and I think that's a really interesting thing to like, that they can just flip the switch and it's done. You can actually come down from the sport, as opposed to when you get in the car and you're going to the next town and you're still in the sport because there's no way to hide yourself almost.
Right. And then at the same, and the sick game of it all is like, you want that.
Yeah.
And I feel like you want it way, way longer than you don't want it, because, I feel like I see people who have that type of attention and they just want to be home. And again, like how I feel, it's like, let me just get a little bit of it though,
Right.
and hopefully it can manifest into something that, that's meaningful. But, yeah, those guys, like, again, I just watched Atlantis Jr. and Esfinge. They just threw the first pitch at one of the national games. And it's like, then they could go watch the game or get a dog and change their clothes, and they're just they don't get bothered. They get to enjoy the night, So
yeah, that makes sense.
How is your the language barrier for working there? Like, were you like already up on your Spanish going there, or is it like a work in progress?
It's gotten a lot better. It was more like, at first when I went, it was like very like formal, like school Spanish, and then with a little bit of slang, just because of just growing up and my friends, and then learning a lot from there, just because you want to show respect, so you're listening a little bit more, and then you start to catch on to certain words, and then you're kind of like confident about it. You're like, oh, I know what I'm talking about. You take a taxi and you start to talk, and then you're like, again, just looking stuff up on your phone, and then you kind of remember, and you start fourth sentences. So I feel a lot better. I definitely want to learn more. I definitely want to, polish up, because I think it's so cool when people are fluent, like Flip Gordon, like he's like fluent now. Like, like Tessa's fluid now. Like it's cool to watch them, because it's a whole different understanding. And I think that's like the ultimate challenge. So like Akamura. Akamura is the bridge between New Japan, MLW, and AEW and CMLL. He speaks Japanese and Spanish and English, and it's wild to watch him switch on and off. I watched him translate a triple threat with Kushida, Templario, and Austin Aries, and it's like he's doing it all. And I came and him, Rocky Romero too. Like they all do it, and I think that makes you not only more valuable, but it also it does show respect for the country. It shows respect for the culture, because it's on your off time you're doing it, and you can't bullshit knowledge. So it's like being able to kind of show that is really cool. So I'm trying to get better.
Awesome.
So you have a lot going on in Mexico. Then you come back to MLW, and you mentioned that MLW, 2017, right? You were in MLW to start. I mean, what was it like going from like the big lights? Like MLW has a TV deal. MLW's, running this major promotion, and then when you switch into the indies, what was that like for you, like getting into MLW first? Did you have like a head where you're like, I made it already, I'm good, or did you get humbled quickly?
No, it was more so like I was happy, because it felt like I got to go to the NBA from high school, and I didn't have to go to college first. Not that I wasn't going to start I knew I was going to be on the bench, but I was gonna if eventually I want to go to the league, I don't want to have to unlearn 4 years of NCAA. I want to be able to learn right from the jump. So it's like my kindergarten class was meeting Kevin Von Erich and working with Loki and working, you know what I mean, and being under that, and I don't know any different. So I think in that way, where it's like I couldn't cross-reference much. It was basic training. It was a couple of indie matches. It was just not being dumb, and then TV.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't in the sense of like, oh, I'm ready for TV. It's like, this is what you have to do. Okay. And I think that's where, where not like certain people miss out on, not, again, it's not on purpose, but like the baby steps, like some are necessary.
Yeah.
But I think some are skippable if you promote yourself to the right class, even if it's just having the balls to have the right conversation. I think that's one thing that also took me away from that, was I could talk to anybody, and I'm not afraid to talk to anybody because I'm meeting people as peers. I'm not meeting people as posters on my wall.
Right.
Meeting them in a different way. So by the time I knew who like Loki and stuff was, I was in middle school, and by that time, I was like a street kid. So I was already doing bullshit. So I wasn't impressed by like people who I didn't meet yet. I was impressed by people that I saw making things happen. So when I met them, it wasn't like, oh my God, like, no, it was like, we're coworkers now. Not like, oh, I'm on your level, but we work for the same blade.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So,
our checks are signed by the same guy. So that's that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, amounts different, all that, but it's like, it was back to I'm not here by accident.
Mm-hmm.
Showing up just to show up. And I think like that attitude alone, because they couldn't punk me either in the way where like, not in a, like, not ribbing me like, oh, being, new guy, but they could tell that I didn't carry a sense of like, yeah, you could steal my wallet and help me look for it, and I'm not going to look. Like, it's not, it was never, no one ever gave me that.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, this kid clearly wants to learn. And he also has to, because he's in the main event with us. So even in a selfish way, they're like, let me make sure they're good with their spots. So he took a lot of me right away, just from the martial arts background and from the New York background, and the fact that he said something, I didn't say what, I just did it. And I think, and that comes from just having respect for people older, people who I know have put in time. So like that was something that that helped there, because right away the first thing that I did was missed Marshall Von Erich. That was the first thing I did. So in New York, and it wasn't even red because I panicked. I put too much water in. So I just like spit water in his face. But he was pink. Weird. Yeah, just looked weird on camera. Wore this weird outfit. They told me not to talk. So I didn't talk because they were like, listen, like if they find out that you sound like this, they're never going to believe you from Singapore. I was like, yeah, so that was a hard thing. But then, like small glimpses of like, I didn't ask if I could get my hair braided. I just did it. I left my earrings in, like stuff like that. I got a new tattoo. I just didn't tell. I just was like, let me push it a little bit. Cause again, I forget what interview it was, but it was like, man, long ago. And he said, that whole don't ask for forgiveness, ask for permission, ask for forgiveness.
Yeah.
It's been said a million times, but I don't know when it started. But I remember just hearing that one day, and it just stuck forever, to the point where I thought that was like an inside rule. So I was like, oh, let me just do it.
Yeah.
And then, you're in there. It's Contra Unit versus the Von Erichs, Tom Lawler, who I remember from Ultimate Fighter. So I'm like, and Loki and Kevin Von Erich's there. His first time in Dallas at the New Sport Auditorium. Like, so it's like, it was so much history and so much stuff going on that was like, oh no, like, don't worry about fucking up. You can't. You just took out of it. You just took it out of it. So it wasn't even about being nervous, being stage fright. It's like, I'm not about to look dumb in front of them. And it was as simple as that. It was, I think that's as simple as I needed it to make. It wasn't about remembering. It wasn't about being polished. It was just, I'm not going to mess up in front of them.
Well, go ahead, Butter. Sorry.
I was going to ask, has there been anybody though? Like, I know you said like you didn't treat them like they're people that were up on your walls, poster wise, stuff like that. Well, has there been anybody that you were starstruck when you met, like low key a little bit?
I mean, it's it's weird. It's just it's really cool to meet them. But it's always been a thing where I never wanted to put people in a place where I felt that I couldn't meet them at. I don't know how to explain it. It was like I guess I like brainwashed myself when I was young. I think it comes from being adopted and like processing that and realizing like it's not like nothing's guaranteed or promised and or like every breath is like by accident. So I'm not about to. I'm not supposed to be here. People should be coming up to me. So that's gonna also like I remember I felt that way when I met Tajiri, and he was kind of showing me how to do the mist a little bit, like little tricks and stuff like that, and like showed an interest because I grew up watching him. But maybe the language barrier made it hard to really connect. But honestly, JBL was cool and Mark Henry because Mark Henry, my dad got Mark Henry's signature at this place in Harlem where he worked, like what 20 years ago, 15 years ago, and I didn't have it with me, but I tried to get a picture. But I was telling him about that day because he took the time. He was sitting alone, and he took the time to talk to my dad, and I told him, and then we had a little moment because he watched my match and he gave me some tips on things, and that was cool because again, meeting people who I looked at in that way, but as a peer, and they talked to me like that. That's kind of what I like. I like people who win. And then when I was like 19, I met my first like millionaire. Not like a friend. I just met a millionaire, and like that. And then I got starstruck by that because I was like, oh, other things. Because when I started first getting into indie wrestling, one of sometimes my favorites lived in their car, and that changed the whole dynamic of like, what do I want to be? Do I want to be over and sleep in the parking lot, or do I want to, or just plan A include all of it? Getting married, having a kid, going to school, getting out of trouble for good, like patching things up with my family, like putting some money aside here, like making good of this, like going to wrestling school, doing. And I feel like it's been working out. I feel like it's just recognize that everyone is their own blueprint, and it's okay to think that someone's ahead of you or behind you because it's a track. There's only so many places you can go on a track. You might be standing next to someone, but you could have lapped them 50 times or vice versa. But it's just like, don't just be comfortable there. And everyone you meet on there, you're supposed to meet them at the right time. So I think that was kind of the overall lesson of trying to be humble and also trying to not be starstruck because you want to be in that spot or at least in that class of people one day. And depending on how they treat you, that's how you want to be in that way too. So I'm more impressed by when people are like respectful and then show that they earn that status of celebrity or just honor. So like JBL was very cool, which I've only heard crazy stories about him, and maybe I just met him at the right time. Mark Henry, again, I feel like he's just a genuine guy. Mick Foley. I would love to meet like John Cena now. I feel like I would have like a really good conversation with him about just like morality, about just a lot of things, and because he's the one who that was the first person I met that was starstruck. So I would say him. That was someone I didn't wash my hand for like the weekend. I remember like talking about that. I remember wrote his words on the wall that he said to me. I told him, I said, I want to be a wrestler. He said, go do it. It was something so simple he could have said to anyone, but then it was like, oh shit, he said it. And it was always that, even when I was like doing bad, it was always, all right, what would my dad say? What would John Cena say? Even in my, when I was like 21, 22, still was like, all right, like John Cena would think you're an asshole if you did this. Like, it was weird, like how much he crept into my consciousness. Even when I wasn't really watching religiously, it was still just, he was just my guy. Cause he was like an older brother, consistent since I was like 7 years old. So I think that's someone that if I met now, like Randy Orton's my favorite wrestler, but if I met him, I would like dap him up and like talk about whatever. If I saw John Cena again, I would like try to get I would try, be honored to have his time to talk to him. So yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about what's going on this Saturday, because there's a lot going on in ETU. You have been a major player in ETU for a while now. and starting the expected and the takeover and missing that match in February because of the storm and all those things. Let's get into. I want to kind of talk more about this because this is our ETU week, and you guys are front and center. So let's talk a little bit about the expected and the goals here of the expected, because after getting to know you and seeing your drive and all these things, tell me what happened, because somebody obviously got on the wrong side here for you guys to do this.
It's just like I was saying before, like we're just done having other people have the pen to write like the story of it all, realizing seeing politics go on, not partaking in it as long as we can, until realizing like maybe the best way to work is from within. So you kind of got to play the game, but not play the game where like we turned over every stone is how I feel. And now it's about shoving the equity into everyone's face. Like me and Gabe specifically have never played. If we played the race card, if we said, hey, we're a Korean, Puerto Rican tag team, book us, we would get more. If Gabe started cutting promos in Spanish, if my name really was like Mitsubishi Honda, tell where to go. And you know that. So what do you do with one of ones? Well, we don't know. We didn't see this before. So now we kind of got to do that. And ETU gives us the platform to show that, because they know, they agree. We never take anything. All we ask for is a camera and a chance. And every time we deliver. Just because we don't politic and we don't jack off the people who want to be who want it, like we're going to be under the rug. We're not here. We didn't get into wrestling to redo high school like a lot of these guys and girls. You know what I mean? Like you learn to put on some makeup. You lost 50 pounds. Now you think you're top bitch. You have some dude walk around like he's has 5 national titles. Like, you know what I mean? Like we see through it. I see through it. And Gabe starting off younger, but also meeting me at a time where like he was like, maturing at the same time too. I put him on to see it. And just the real life thing. I make sure that my guys, Austin Luke included, Mako, like that, we're winning in real life. And then when you win in real life, everything else kind of, it hits you different. You see it different because you already have a different vision of what's going on. So that's why even in a pun metaphor sense, like we expect all of this. It's just not going to happen the same way as other people. You know what I mean? I don't have a tragic story. I don't use anything in my life to gain sympathy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't crash my car like a moron and get a GoFundMe. I'm a grown man. I'm gonna take care of my GoFundMe. I would be clowned at. I could never talk to any of my friends if I put a GoFundMe for fucking up something that I own or that I did. That's childish, and I don't condone any of that. Like, handle your own shit. But that's what makes us so different from the culture in the way where we clash. Not in that we're against it. We just have complete different viewpoints, and that's what comes down to this whole roster and this whole situation with the Culinary Club. Like, they're part of the problem because they're talented dudes, but they think that like they're a part of this movement. Like, and what we're telling them is like, it doesn't matter what your plan is. That's like the whole situation in real life. In real life, we're not waiting in line,
And you have a deep-seated hatred for Jay Bougie, from my understanding. So
you don't?
Me?
Yeah.
No, he came on. He was good for us.
I mean, I personally think you calling PB a tall ass palm tree with braids is one of the funniest things I've ever heard. And you clowning on him made me laugh pretty hard. So, I mean, I'm with you. I'm ready for some new tag champs. So.
I think the Killionaires Club, I think that tournament made you guys put you guys in a bad spot at the end there. So I understand where you're coming from. I think what was the general thought when that card got canceled in February? Are you guys ready to go for this card, because that was a mess? I mean, to lose that opportunity for you guys to run the show that night.
I owe Gabe $50 because as soon as the show got canceled, I texted him. I said, Bougie's going to talk about something in 10 minutes. He said, I'll give it 5. 3 minutes later, he posted some bullshit about how it was meant to be or something like that. Like weather, you know what I mean? But again, like it goes down to like, what was he doing at that time versus what I was doing at that time? I was texting my tag partner and I was looking at, I was chilling in my house that I bought. I'm fine if the show gets canceled. Actually, no, I wasn't. Actually, I was having an autograph signing with Minoru Suzuki. So he doesn't know anything about that. I was going to cut a promo in Arena Mexico for him just because he's never going to see the inside of that place. So I was just going to, do the whole thing. But I wasn't, it's that's what I mean. It's petty. So now on Saturday, it's not about petty. It's about like, it's only petty if they understand what I'm doing. They legitimately think that they're better. So now we have to just do it now. That's, like usually I talk a lot, obviously, with this podcast, but I usually like to talk in a certain way to Jay Bougie because Jay Bougie, you can see it. His motor just runs, which sucks because a little bit of restraint, or not even restraint, a little bit of guidance. He's an X-Men he doesn't know how to use his powers. That's the problem. It's going to run him in the ground. I never talk bad about his ability. I say he's a jackass. I never said he was bad. Yes, he's someone that I would practice with my left on because he's just annoying. Type to go into class, you know what I mean? But he's not a bitch. He's gonna fight back. Mm-hmm. I know. But I guarantee, like, he's not invited into rooms that I'm in. He doesn't know people that I know for a reason. He talks too much. He's also not there. He's a wild card. You see it in Smooth's face too. He's in NWA. He's doing other things. He's too volatile. He can't do that. He crashes out every 2 seconds. He's a liability, and that's not good for business. In a shoot sense, I've got a master's degree. I got numerous certifications. I'm good. You can put me on Good Morning America. You can send me to the Children's Hospital. You can put me anywhere. I'm good. Can't put Jay Bougie anywhere. You can't put him everywhere because you don't know how he's going to act. He could do fine. There's levels to business in this thing.
So what's the goal then? What's the goal when you guys, let's say you win on Saturday, then what's the goal? Because you got a huge group now. There's 5 of you. What's the goal then? After you guys win the belts, then what's next?
It's the takeover. It's, first it's going to be the official new, May 23rd is going to be the official what the fuck happened to Jay Bougie Day. It's going to be every May 23rd. We're going to remember what happened on Saturday. It's going to be terrible. It's going to be a lot of slow singing and flower bringing on. I'm telling you, but it's the statement of you need us to hold stuff for you to hear us more. You need us to have everything. That's not how we like to, you know what I mean? Like, that's not even how me and Gabe even do business like that. We just show up. And we're good. And now again, there's levels to that too, which we talked about, where it's, hey, I think people don't think we can be champions. It's like, why? We win, we do. Yeah, but we don't have them. It's like, oh, we need to have, okay. We need to, for who are we trying to please now? Right? Is it us? Is it negotiations with money, or is it the fans? The fans that love us until one of their favorites walks in the room. The favorites who, again, it's not even like bitterness. It's just you watch from afar. People talking. I was out for 2 years with a major surgery. I didn't ask for a nickel. I didn't ask for nothing. I just posted my recovery. No one said a thing. I didn't ask for it. Gabe dislocated his shoulder 3 times. I've seen him broken, bloodied, like just on those drives home. I've seen it. I've been there in the hospital with him. He's been there with me in the hospital. Silence. So make it clear we're not dying for people who don't even who probably don't even have custody of their kids. I'm not even, I mean, I'm not even, I'm not breaking my neck for any of them. It's not about that. But if it's about them understanding, again, it only matters if they understand what we're doing. So if those championships make them understand that we're the top, then we have to get the championships. That goes for Santana, Tracy, whoever wins that match. It's the same thing for them. And I don't think people understand, like, Matt Mako will kill anybody. Matt McAllister is a shark, like, for real. For real, for real. Austin Luke is a dog for real. Kickboxing, like, for real. Gabe is out of his mind. Gabe might not know. He doesn't have to do a class like Mako, myself, or Austin, but he doesn't have to. He doesn't stop. His gas tank's on 1,000, and he will hurt you. And and I think that's a recipe that we haven't seen yet. And I think it's just everyone needs their time. I never wanted to pull the race card. I never wanted to pull the undervalued card. I never wanted to gloat about I've always been overlooked by my understudies. I didn't want to have that sympathy of it. But this is the time now where it's not about that. We can get credit for it later. We can get credit for all the 2026 banners that people want to place on extra, on extra stuff. The fact that we're an interracial group, that we're a multifaceted, trained in martial law, we can do all of it. But I'd rather it be for the fact that there's 4 men who never got their shot, who never begged, who never pleaded, who never cried about it, who never got involved in no shit. You can put them around a bunch of women and everyone's cool. You can put a bunch of kids, everyone's cool. Put them around a bunch of sponsors, everyone's cool. We're not doing bullshit in public. We're not doing bullshit outside. We're good men, strong men that take care of theirs and represent any letters that want to represent us. We represent them to the fullest, no matter what. Doing shows like this, promoting the right thing, being a stand-up person, no matter what. That's what we stand for, and that's what's gonna bubble up on Saturday when we're holding those championships.
And I do think it's I following you guys, you and Gabe, as a team for the last several years and seeing what you guys can do. I do think ETU, yes, it's going to be bad for Struggs and for Andrew when you guys win, but honestly, I think I think you guys are due, and I'm looking forward to that on Saturday. I love having a local company where you guys are. It feels like home when I see you guys in the ring, and I like that you're up here and doing East Coast shows and still, coming back for these. It's important that we keep, some sort of territory feel left in the Indies. I think it's very important. But
not just I'm going to speak specifically for the Northeast and New York, Long Island. There's a different understanding of loyalty when you come from certain places. I think is it, but I think like maybe we're prone to being in those situations earlier on. So same thing. And I know like Struggles is the same way. He might not be happy at first of the fact that we win, but he knows we're not going anywhere. And he knows that if we're there and we have gold, it automatically makes the tag division higher. It automatically brings more respect to the fact that if we put our names on there, not only does it matter more, but we're going to defend it. And I think that's something that I think, the best companies, the best indie companies that are around had that loyalty. And we have that. And that's why we're not knocking Killionaires for having that loyalty, because they do bleed ETU.
Yeah.
So we can't take that away. But that's why the win's going to mean more, because now it's who wants it. It's not always just who wants it more, but it's like who is going, who can actually take it and carry this torch.
Yeah. And I think ETU with their schedule and how they're going to run, it'd be ETU deserves that run, and they should have champions that are going to represent them, as you said, all over the place, which I think is great. Butters, you have anything else you want to go over?
No, I'm good.
So I just want to make sure that we get it all out again. ETU on Saturday, dead set, 7:00 at the Mecca, Ridgefield Park. The Expected versus the Killionaires Club for those titles. And again, Ikuro, Kwon, we really appreciate you coming on and giving us time tonight and going over the show and your life, and I can't thank you enough. Do you have anything you want to plug before you go?
Man, no, I want everyone really to tune in to what we got at ETU. It's a special roster ran by special guys with a fan base who has been with the company, from the jump. Whether it's just loyalty to the Mecca, loyalty to the talent, or loyalty to the Northeast wrestling, like you said, like it's a very cool thing. So I appreciate you guys because I love talking to you guys, talking to the good guys about just life and everything.
Yeah, I get very excited. So I'm glad that you made it on, and we have an ETU and a Long Islander here. So we got the plugs out. Butters, you want to give your plugs real quick?
Yeah, Brainbuster tees for the new shirt, and cards and hats should be in hand for this weekend shows.
All right. And please rate. And you can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at jgold12. Rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen to us. The Twitter handle, IWGuide1, YouTube, IWGuide, Patreon, /IWGuide. Don't forget about the merch store over at Brainbuster Tees. Our friend Will at Gorilla Press Apparel. Podcast friends, we are part of the Main Event Wrestling Network. The Wrestling Junkies, On the Mark Wrestling Podcast, Tino's Time, Blog World Order, and my show Tuesday nights, the NXT Night Shift live at 10:15 on Tuesdays. At Odds with Wrestling, the card is going to change. Super Fantastic Podcast and Marks with Mikes. Check out our other friends, Monsters in the Toy Box, Toy Hio, Rubber City Toys, Neo Pro Wrestling, OKCR Creations, Stash Pages, and Pally's Beef Jerky by our friend Kaplan. That's all I got. Butters?
Life's short. Watch more indie wrestling.
Don't forget to review and subscribe wherever you listen to us. Find us online at Facebook and Instagram at the Indie Wrestling Guide, and on X or Twitter at IWGuide1.